I'm Alex Michelson. Welcome to a special edition of The Issue Is with former Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Veterans now have a home, a mini home.
We're with the former governor as he visits tiny homes he purchased for homeless vets.
I'm ecstatic.
We also talk COVID,
I don't think that villainizing them is the right way to go.
California's crime spree,
I think that you have to really let the people know that they're going to go to jail.
and California's future.
People couldn't find a better candidate than Newsom was, so that's why he won.
Plus, what are the holidays like at the Schwarzenegger home? The Issue Is starts right now.
Broadcasting across California, California's only statewide political show. You're watching The Issue Is.
Welcome to a rainy edition of The Issue Is. I'm Alex Michelson at the VA in West LA, where a lot of the veterans here have been living in tents for some time. The good news is an increasing number of them are moving into these tiny homes, some of them thanks to the former governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'm going to show you inside one of these right now.
Arnold Schwarzenegger gets a tour of a series of tiny homes he bought for homeless veterans and their animals who once lived in tents on the streets. The former governor delivering this gift just days before Christmas. That's got to feel so fulfilling, though, knowing that you're able to make this happen for them.
I'm ecstatic. I'm really ecstatic. I'm so excited. To me, this is the greatest Christmas gift.
Schwarzenegger donated to Village for Vets, the nonprofit that actually bought the homes. For more information, head to villageforvets.org.
When I came over here in 1968, I had a lot of people making my Christmas full of joy, even though I had nothing. They lit a Christmas tree for me, they gave me gifts, and they made me kind of be part of America.
This is what the tiny home looks like. You've got a bed, you've got space. This isn't occupied yet, but it's going to make life a lot easier for one of these vets.
It's been a lifesaver for me.
Veteran Bruce Henry Cooper personally thanking Schwarzenegger.
He has not forgotten us.
This scene, a lot different than this.
In early October, we joined the secretary of the VA as he toured this campus in West LA. He discovered a long row of tents on the public street with some vets who'd been camping there for years.
Is there a place to put some of these people so they're not literally outside here, but on the property?
Well, I think you see some of it right here.
Soon after that, action. We were here in November as Governor Newsom toured the property and announced an expansion of the Tiny Homes program. Former Governor Schwarzenegger saw that and decided to spend $250,000 of his own money to buy even more tiny homes.
We brought everyone together, and there was no one that said it can't be done.
How has that changed your life?
It's home.
Ferris Kearns spent months living on the streets. Talk about the difference between being in a tent and being in a tiny home.
No squirrels and no rats.
Rob Reynolds of AmVets advocated to make this happen. What kind of difference does the tiny home make?
They have electricity, they have heating and air conditioning.
Schwarzenegger joined by his son Patrick. They both provide food to the vets.
We owe everything to our veterans. You know, they've sacrificed their lives, their familyhood, their futures for us and for our freedom. It's the holidays. Anything we can do to make other people's week a little bit better and happier, it's good.
Afterward, Schwarzenegger sat down for an exclusive interview with The Issue Is.
The last time I was here, I said, I'll be back. Remember that?
Schwarzenegger says the rain on this day proves why these homes are so necessary.
They're lying out there day and night in the rain with some tents that leak and stuff like that. So now they have a dry home where they can really sleep and really rest and feel good. And so it was great to do all that. Because to me, the important thing was when on Veterans Day, I asked them, I said, let's build more homes here. And they said, okay, you want to go and donate some money for that? And I said, absolutely, I'm in. But I said, I'm only in if the homes are here before Christmas. See, because for 20 years, people talk about homelessness.
Right.
But we don't see the action really, what we expect. And so the idea was to just show that it can be done, and they did it. So there was no one in the way. We worked, like I said to you earlier, we worked with the federal government, we worked with the state, we worked with the city, we worked with the locals, we worked with the Veterans Administration, we worked with everyone, and everyone came together. No one said, no, you can't do that. We came together and we did it. And the day it's here, the homes are here, they've moved in there. It's fantastic. It makes me feel so good.
What do you think is a lesson that everybody else can learn when it comes to homelessness? Because this problem, as you mentioned, has been around for so long, it's so complicated, and there are so many areas where you don't see action.
Well, it's the wrong time now to be negative. So I don't want to attack the city officials, and I don't want to attack the state and all those people that have dragged their ass for too long. So I don't want to attack them, okay? I think that the key thing here is that they all worked with us and came together and said, let's do it. So I think that everyone is trying their best, and it's just that sometimes people just don't know how to execute something. So to me, the important thing was to set a date and say, this is when it has to be up, this is when the people have to move in, and that was the important thing. And you know, and I walked around today, and it just makes you feel so good when they look you in the eye and they say, thank you. Thank you for this home, I now have a home. And it makes me feel good because it's a great Christmas gift, and it's, like I said, a great Christmas gift for them, but it's a great Christmas gift for me because it makes me feel good that I was able to do something for these very, very special people, the veterans, that they've served this country so well, and that I could do something for this country. And as you know, we talked about this many times in the past, that I'm into giving back, you know, because I've made and had this great success only because of America. If it is in bodybuilding, if it is in business, if it is in show business, movies, in politics, and whatever I tackled, I achieved because of America. So to me, it's always great to give something back. It doesn't matter if there is a shortage of masks and you donate $1 million for masks to get immediately masks to all the hospitals in Los Angeles, or if it is, giving out toys at the Hollenbeck Youth Center for people that really can't afford toys for their kids. Or if it is handing out turkeys on Thanksgiving, or after-school programs and all of this kind of stuff, it makes me feel good that they continuously can give something back to this country that means everything to me.
We also discussed the issue of COVID-19, with Omicron cases exploding this week.
Come with me if you want to live.
Arnold has publicly advocated for the vaccine since the beginning and went viral for sharing his frustration with those who refused to get it.
Screw your freedom. Because with freedom comes obligations and responsibilities.
In The Atlantic, he wrote, quote, "Don't be a schmuck. Put on a mask."
What do you make of this moment and the fact that there still are millions of people who are unvaccinated?
Well, it's a very complicated issue. You know, there's just some people that don't believe in vaccination, and we just have to do everything we can to convince them that this is the right direction to go. I don't think that villainizing them is the right way to go. I think the right way to go is to just keep explaining to them from every angle, and one of the angles will work and it will be a breakthrough. And maybe someone in their family has died because they weren't vaccinated, and then wakes up everybody and says, okay, I think we all should get vaccinated, and the whole family then goes and gets vaccinated. We've seen those kind of stories. And the more we see it exposed, the news that the people that are the most vulnerable and the people that are passing away because of corona are usually people that are not vaccinated. So I think this is a very clear message that vaccination is great. And of course, the government has made some real mistakes. The scientists and the experts have made mistakes because they tell us a story as if it is a factual story, and then they go and they have to pull it back and say, no, it's actually this way. And so there's this back and forth where people don't feel really secure, and they feel like, do they really know what they're talking about and all this stuff? So it's very complicated, but it doesn't mean that we cannot tackle it. I think that this country is the best country in the world, and I think that if we get together, just like we did with this homeless situation here, we all got together and we tackled the problem, right, and we made a little bit an impact.
Yeah, and on in terms of the people that are vulnerable to coronavirus, it's unvaccinated. It's also people that are obese, and you have worked more than just about anybody in the country in terms of getting people to be more fit. Do you think that we need to have more of a conversation in this country about fitness, in addition to getting vaccinated and wearing masks and everything else, to try to put people in a better position?
You know, I think that you are hitting a very important issue here, because I think that people should always remember, before you go to the government and say we want to have health care, free health care, I cannot pay for this enormous expenses of health care. They should also think about what can they do to take care of their health. Because health care, what they call health care, is really sick care. It's not health care, it's sick care. This is already when there's a problem existing. And I think the best thing is to do preventive medicine, to go and to live well, to eat well, to not stuff yourself. And may I remind you, obesity sometimes is a sickness, okay? So it does not mean that these people just stuff themselves and they're just getting fat and they're lazy or anything like this. There's a real problem there out there with obesity. But I think the key thing is to take care of yourself, to train every day and to eat well and all this. Take care of yourself. That should be the first health care. And then you can go and look for other means to go and make sure that you stay healthy and that you get the right treatments when you are sick.
Up next, Governor Schwarzenegger on California's redistricting experiment that he started. Plus, his thoughts on Governor Newsom, the recall, and the road ahead.
The motion passes.
This is the moment California's Independent Redistricting Commission finalized the state's election maps for the next 10 years. Here's the group celebrating afterwards. They're made up of 5 Republicans, 5 Democrats, and 4 independents, and they voted unanimously. Arnold Schwarzenegger helped to create this system with Prop 11. He also helped to pass California's open primary system.
What do you make of the unanimous result? Democrats, Republicans, independents all coming together on this.
Well, as you can see, I have a big smile on my face, right? I'm ecstatic about it. And this is one of those issues when you talked about complex issues, complicated issues. It's a very complicated issue, this redistricting, and to reform it. It's a system that has been in place, this gerrymandering, has been in place for over 200 years. And so people kind of don't understand it. I saw right away when I was governor that there was something off. And so when I looked into it more and more, I realized that it was that the politicians drew the district lines in such a way, people didn't even know it, but they drew it in such a way that they fixed the system, that you couldn't get any politician out. It was like a job safety kind of a thing, like let's hold on to my job rather than let's do what is the best for the people. And so we fixed it. We created the open primaries. We created an independent redistricting commission. It was amazing that you think about that 5 Republicans, 5 Democrats, and 4 independents unanimously voted for those district lines that they drew. That is unheard of. With all the arguing and the fighting that's going on nationwide and statewide between the parties, it just shows you that it can be done. And so California is a perfect example. We have the most competitive races in California because of the great lines, the district lines that were drawn by this independent commission. So I'm ecstatic about it, and I want to congratulate them and say thank you for the great work that you've done.
Yeah, and now there's going to be all these competitive elections, and also next year an election for California governor. What was your big takeaway from the recall last year, and what do you sort of look forward to with the 2022 race?
Well, to me the big takeaway was that people couldn't find a better candidate than Newsom was, so that's why he won. And that's why he was not recalled. It's very simple. I think that to me it makes no difference if a Democrat wins or if a Republican wins. What is important to me is do the people's work. Don't do the party's work, do the people's work. That is the most important thing, because you're swearing and you say your oath that you serve the people, not your party. And so that's to me the most important thing.
Do you think Newsom's doing the people's work?
I think that I'm not, kind of agreeing with everything that he does. I think he has been very good, and that unless someone better comes along, he's, the man that is running the state.
Right. A big issue is the budget, right? When you were in there, you had this sort of up and down process. We were with Jerry Brown last week. He talked about the fact that you had $60 billion deficit at one point. He thinks that California is headed for something similar in the years ahead.
The current system that we have in place, we need a minimum of $80 to $100 billion in the surplus, a rainy day fund, and they don't have that yet. And so he's absolutely right, Governor Brown, when he says that we could be heading in that same direction.
The former governor also weighing in on images like these of growing crime in California.
What do you make of the images that we're seeing on TV of these smash and grabs of what's happening? Are you concerned about that? What do you think should be done?
Another complex issue, isn't it? I think the key thing is to really make the penalties really tough and to be tough on crime. I think that, and Jerry Brown, I think, talking about the governor, he always was very tough on crime. Even though he was a Democrat, normally Democrats are not known for that, but he was really good in that. I was really good in that, I thought, and I think that you have to really let the people know that they're going to go to jail. There is no kind of saving you. And today, the way things are with our district attorney and with the things the way they are, with no bail and all this kind of stuff, it makes it very difficult to send that signal out there that you're going to get punished when you commit a crime, when people literally being let out the next day or the same day. They get arrested and then they go out, and I feel sorry for the police that they have to deal with some of these people 5-6 times in a row. So this is uncalled for. I think we can do better. But to answer your question about California, California is the best state in the union. It has the greatest revenues in the union. It has the most successful in business. We have proven that you can protect the environment and the economy at the same time. I think that we are number one, we're the 5th largest economy in the world. So California is great, even though we have our problems that need to be solved, but it is the greatest state in the country.
And we got Arnold Schwarzenegger living here, so that's pretty cool too.
Thank you.
When we come back, we have some fun. What's Christmas like in the Schwarzenegger house?
Approaching Christmas, what's Christmas like in the Schwarzenegger home? Any special traditions, anything?
Well, the tradition is that we spend it always as a family together. Maria and my kids come together, we celebrate, we do gift exchanges and stuff like that. It's a really wonderful time. And it's kind of a combination of the way Maria grew up, the way she celebrated Christmas and the way I celebrated Christmas in Austria. So we always combined us, and for the last 30 years, this is, since we had kids, we have been doing it that way. And so we're having a great time. And it's kind of also a time of not just celebrating our own victories and exchanging gifts, but also remembering that there are a lot of people out there that cannot afford to have a great Christmas like we have.
You brought your son Patrick along today. How are your kids doing?
My kids are terrific, and I think that with all the victories that I have declared in my life, in all the various different things I was successful in, I think this is probably the biggest victory. That Maria and I were able to go and to create kids that are really fantastic kids. Mm-hmm. I mean, that with no problems, no drugs, no alcohol, no one is lazy or anything like that. They all want to work and they all have visions, big visions and stuff like that. They all want to give back to the community and all this. So it's really fantastic. I mean, I'm so proud of my kids.
You know, when Patrick put the blonde hair on social media, he said his mom's going to kill him. What do you think of the blonde?
You know, to me, I think it's funny. You know, when Patrick runs around with bleached hair, it doesn't matter what hair color he has. Yeah. The important thing is to me what is in here, right, and what is in here. And Patrick will always be a business genius, and he always will work his way up in acting and become a superstar and all of those kind of things. So I'm very proud of him. And this is a great thing about all my kids. It doesn't matter what their hair color is or what their hairstyle is or what clothes they wear or anything like that. For me, it's just the person that really counts.
Do Whiskey and Lulu get Christmas presents?
Whiskey and Lulu, by the way, did not get their hair bleached. so they get Christmas gifts, but they get gifts every day. You know, they come in every day to my kitchen, and they give them oatmeal cookies and stuff like that, and they are very, very happy. And today they even had a fight in the kitchen over the oatmeal cookies because I ran out of oatmeal cookies, so one wanted to take it away from the other, and then the dogs jumped in. They wanted to take it away from. So it's just one of those things. But they have been the greatest thing since the corona, since I'm spending more time at home, right, or most of the time at home. Having those animals is just wonderful, and having them roam around in the house and feel like it's like their house too. And it's just really, it's really funny.
They've made the pandemic better for everybody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Up next, we talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger, the grandfather.
And lastly, the last time we talked, you weren't a grandpa yet. Now you're a grandpa and about to become a grandpa a second time, right? Catherine about to have her second baby. What's Grandpa Schwarzenegger like?
I'm very happy about being a grandfather, even though it sounds really weird. As a matter of fact, I have signed birthday card or something like this for Lila, for Catherine's daughter. I sometimes, by mistake, write Uncle Arnold. And she says, "You're not her uncle." Oh yeah, grandpa. Okay, Opa. In German, it's Opa. So then I write, okay, I say, I love Opa Arnold, and also because it's so hard to feel, because in my mind I'm like in the middle of my age, right? And so to feel that, to know that you're a grandfather, and now she is expecting a second child. It's just wonderful, you know. I went on bicycle rides with Lila. It's just so much fun to do the things now again that I did 30 years ago with Catherine. We're doing the same thing basically over again, and she does the same, and she's a fantastic mother, and of course Chris is really a great dad.
Do you spoil her more than you did your kids?
You always do that,
yeah.
Because it's not my responsibility if there's any kind of a negative effect, right? It's her responsibility. Yeah, of course, we give her everything, we let her do everything, and all that. That's normal.
And do you have a New Year's resolution, just to wrap things up?
I just think that I want to go and do more films, do more TV work, do more work with my Schwarzenegger Institute, and really address heavily the environmental issues, to reduce the greenhouse gases, and to really get rid of fossil fuels, get rid of pollution and all that stuff, and to really fight for those kind of things. Continue fighting with for the after-school programs and all this. So there's a, when you talk about New Year's resolutions, I write down not just 3 things. I write down 2 pages of things that I'm planning to do every year. So I'm very ambitious, and age hasn't slowed me down. And so there's a lot of things that we can do. And the key thing is to always know that when we work together, we can get anything done.
Well, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I hope one of those things has come back on The Issue Is, because you're welcome anytime.
Well, thank you.
We love having you. If you ever need a workout buddy, I'm here for you.
Okay, good.
And thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching The Issue Is. We'll see you next time.